Welcome to Forensic Friday.
where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all.
So today was your first official day without me.
Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it. I don't know what you want from me. It's awful.
I'll be honest, I will say, and again, we keep on recording these pre-baby.
I know. Well, listen, I thought you were going to go dark this week, but since there's no baby, you're like, why not record?
I know. I'm like, you want to record tonight? I'm good. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow or take 1,000 naps.
Your texts were so funny because I know you were kind of like, what's she doing today? And I'm like, I am wall to wall insanity. I didn't even look at my phone. My phone fell off my chair today.
I felt like we reversed roles because
you totally did.
You send me 1,000 texts most of the time, and then I'm like, oh my God, Janine. And then today I was like, I'm bored.
This is literally halfway through today. When I was looking at your text, I go, oh, this is what that's like. I'm going 100 miles an hour, I can't answer you. But really, I lost my phone because it fell off my chair and it didn't even occur to me to look for it
Oh no.
It was an out-of-body experience today.
Oh no.
I know, it's fine. Everything's fine.
I know, but here's the funny thing. All of this will all be out. This episode will come out after, I pray after baby's here.
Yeah, we're not on the 48-week plan, right? So she's coming in the next couple days.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
But for continuity reasons, hi. I don't know how to pretend you've already had a baby.
Well, we can't. We're just our listeners are gonna know that we pre-recorded.
They know. We can't fake anything anyway.
Oh, it's fine. And who cares? And they're probably laughing about the fact that I'm still pregnant.
And that I hate working without you. I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into a depression. They're going to give me an adjustment disorder diagnosis.
It's day 2.
The specifier is going to be working without Nat. Anxiety and depression with conduct. Disturbance of conduct. You're going to burn something down.
Oh boy, please don't, because you have to keep your job so I can still have your old job when I come back.
Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I love where I work. I love my new job. I just happen to get promoted right when you're on your way out from maternity leave, which is what it is. But I'm so happy for you, and you're making me an auntie again. So, really, it's fine. It's going to be fine.
I know. Well, we have to tell our people a little, depending on when this episode comes out, I guess, we have new merch.
We have new merch, Unhinged.
It's Unhinged, literally.
It's on brand for both of us right now.
Did you like the post I did?
Loved.
It was so good.
It was so good. I don't know how you did it.
I don't either.
I think it's amazing. I like the music.
I don't know how I did it. And it's on beat.
It's beautiful. I know, it's great.
I didn't I didn't line it up.
Your social media game is on point since you went on maternity leave.
Well, it's because I'm not working. I know. So I'm like, I have time to actually do this.
It's very hard to have really intense jobs, side hustles, podcasts, it's a lot.
And then post on social media.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm no help in this regard. I don't know what I'm doing. I can find funny videos to share and find friends. I'm great at that.
See, that's your skill. I'm not bad at social media if I have time to do it, but I never have time. But today I had time. Yesterday I had time. So I put our video together for merch, and then I also did that hilarious one of me going up in the helicopter.
That was great. I had the funniest conversation today with my boss and our coworker Lori about how we should have middle-aged staff meetings, one-on-ones at 3:00 in the morning, because that's when we're all awake.
Oh my gosh. I'm not awake.
If you're perimenopausal, if you're middle-aged and you're stressed, we were all awake at 3:00 in the morning. We were like, we should have just had a meeting. Because at 4:00, I'm ready to go home to my family. So we should just meet at 3:00 in the morning. It'd be easier. We're all awake anyway, thinking about things.
So am I not middle-aged yet? I don't think I'm middle-aged yet.
You're not middle-aged. When you hit 40, we'll talk,
I won't be middle-aged yet.
I don't think you're I mean, well, it depends on what your life expectancy is, which is really sad when you think about it. So I might be past my prime.
Can we not talk about life expectancy? Because I have a genuine fear of dying.
I know. I really don't. I'm just like, I'm ready when the day comes. I know it's weird to say it like that, but I'm not stressed about it at all. I love my life. I'm really happy alive, but I'm just not worried about it.
I think Bear's gonna listen to this and be like, what the
Oh, he
frick?
knows. He knows. I've told him a lot of times.
Oh
He
my
knows.
God. You're wild.
Well, I have to die first. This is an agreement that he didn't agree to, but I think it's an agreement between us because I don't want to live without him. So I have to go first.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Which really the way that I experience stress and the way he experiences stress, that's not going to be hard. He's going to outlive me by a long time.
Oh my
If he
God.
can't remarry, I will haunt his ass.
Well, we are changing the subject.
Yeah. Is it freaking you out?
Yes, it scares the shit out of me.
Why? It's so weird. Well, because Preston joked about the river and then
And then I almost died. Okay. Speaking of near-death experiences, we're not talking about mine today, but
we're not.
we are going to talk about a situation that happened super recently in March in Hawaii between a doctor and his wife. They're actually both allegedly.
Allegedly.
We wore our hats today
We're not getting sued by some jackass doctor. This is alleged.
I literally was like, Janine, wear your hat because this is all allegedly.
I can't find my pink one, so I put Gerhart's on.
I know, it's okay.
Allegedly.
So, allegedly, this man
Yes.
attempted to off his wife.
Yes.
Right? To push her off of a cliff. So, we're going to dive into it. On March 24th, I'm going to butcher his name. I should have looked this up on how to pronounce it. Dr. Oh gosh. Gerhardt. Konig. Okay.
Can we call him Dr. Shitty Husband McGee?
How about we just say Dr. SG, like Shitty Gerhardt?
Shitty Gerhardt. SG. I'm here for it. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He might be a great husband. We are alleging.
Bro.
He's the shitty Gerard.
Okay.
Is it Gerard or Gerard?
Gerhardt. Gerhardt.
Well, there's your problem.
I'm aware.
I mean, like, he didn't have a chance. Now I feel bad for him.
I know.
Gerard.
Okay.
It was at this point that the producer realized that neither Nat nor Janine has ever heard of the name Gerhardt, with apologies to our German listeners.
Konig, okay, Konig.
That's easier.
Yeah, so Dr. Konig allegedly tried to push his wife, Ariel Konig, off a cliff while hiking in Hawaii. So they're both super smart. She is a nuclear engineer.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So she's a nuclear engineer. She's 36. This was actually for her birthday. They were in Hawaii for her birthday. She's 36, and he's an anesthesiologist, and he's 46. Right off the bat, when I think, well, what is this episode? What episode does this remind you of?
Steve.
The worst Steve.
Although I will say this is kind of an upgraded version of that.
Gerhardt is smart and he doesn't look like some just Joe.
He doesn't look like Steve.
He does not look like Steve.
He's no Steve.
She's
a nuclear engineer, and I don't even know what they do.
What nuclear engineers do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Is it a power thing? Is it a bomb thing? Nobody knows.
It's a bomb thing? I don't know.
I'm sure she's not making bombs, but I also don't know what she does.
Nuclear. Who knows?
Nuclear.
So, reminds me of Steve because of the freaking cliff. And I'm like, why? Why are we choosing these approaches of allegedly
Allegedly.
pushing our wives off of cliffs.
It's not new. It's not original.
No.
And also, this chick's smart.
Yeah. Well, and that one dude, I forget his name, we did an episode on.
Oh, yeah. He pushed his chick too in Rocky Mountain.
Yes.
Oh,
They're
gosh.
from Colorado.
Yeah, that's why we told people don't hike with your partner if you're having any kind of conflict. Or if you're me, don't hike, full stop. I have pink poles that are unopened. It is my plan someday to hike.
Oh my gosh, you're not wrong. You buy all the gear in gearing up for.
Yeah, I'm looking at my pink weightlifting gloves right now. I'm gonna get right on.
I know. I've probably used your weights more than you have.
You have, actually.
Yeah.
We've probably used the Peloton the same number of times. You've lifted my weights more than I have, I think.
Well, because I do the weights, I do the Peloton rides with weights.
That's insane. How do you do both at the same time?
They do. There are classes with that.
Peloton, I'm holding on for dear life. You're like lifting weights.
Yes.
Good God. You people are built different. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
So, Steve.
From the Midwest, we don't do that. We'll have a casserole, go for a walk, and try not to die. That's the Midwest experience.
I love that.
You guys are like lifting weights on the Peloton? What is happening?
There are real classes that do that.
Are you standing up riding the Peloton doing the weights?
No.
Okay, thank you, because that's what it is in my head.
No, you're sitting and you're like doing the weights. And
oh my gosh, I'm gonna watch you next time.
You can keep your legs moving.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Yes, okay, back to Steve 2.0.
Dr. SG. Okay. So they were hiking in Honolulu, or I keep wanting to say Honolulu. It's not, it's Oahu, Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So they were hiking and they stopped and he said he wanted to get a picture. I can't remember if he said with her or of her. I feel like it doesn't really matter, but he wanted to get a picture and encouraged her to stand by the cliff. And she was like, no.
Now, if my husband said, hey, I want to get a picture. So Garrett and I took a picture when we got engaged in Garden of the Gods, and it was kind of on a ledge area. Okay. If Garrett said, hey, stand over there, I want to get a picture of you, I'm not going to think anything weird about that. I really wouldn't think anything weird. So my question is, and maybe we'll get to this in a second, but my question is, why was she like, no? Because that's not a weird thing in theory. Now, if he's like, keep walking backwards, like, then I'm going to get the clue, like, okay, maybe you do that.
This is not a good situation.
But we haven't heard that. It's just like, I wish I could see what happened, I guess is my thing. Because she knew somehow that something bad was going on.
Well, we're going to get there.
Okay, good.
So so she says no. She's like, no, that's strange. Okay, well, he gets real pissed.
Oh, gosh.
Gets her on the ground. I think, I don't know how he got her on the ground. I'm assuming.
One thing I read was that she threw herself to the ground because I think he kind of came at her and she threw her. That's why I'm saying she knew something was off. Either he charged at her or something.
Yeah.
One of the things I read, she went to the ground.
Threw herself to the ground. Okay, well, that makes sense too because then it's harder for him to push her.
Exactly.
Well, she gets to the ground.
Okay.
And he's bashing her with a rock, like beating her with a rock and like smashing her face into the ground.
My gosh.
Yes. She yells for help. And I think he ran. I think he kind of got away. And so she's yelling for help. And then these other hikers helped her.
And also, what did he think was going to happen? So she didn't go off the cliff.
Nope.
She's literally on a trail on the ground with these injuries that wouldn't happen from standing on a trail and falling down. So he just lost his mind in that moment.
Well, he also tried to inject her with something.
Which is also super weird and creepy.
Well, he's an anesthesiologist.
Yeah, but again, you didn't throw her off the cliff. You're bashing her head with a rock. Now you're going to try to inject her with something?
Here's what I think. I think he's so out of his mind that he probably had this story in his head of like, if it doesn't work, I'll inject her with something and then push her off, and then I'll just still say she jumped. But then obviously an autopsy would tell
Yes.
that something more happened, and then they would be like, oh, he's a anesthesiologist. I wonder how these drugs got into her system.
Well, here's the thing. Steve got away with it, allegedly.
Yeah, but Steve didn't have all these other plans. Like him pushing
But remember,
her.
they looked at all the things about how she fell and blah, blah, blah.
I know.
So maybe he did think, but
if she has like some sort of something injected into her, they're going to be like, this is a sedative.
I think he just lost. I think he lost it. I think he was so angry with her for reasons we won't know.
Well, we do know some of them.
Oh, excellent. Because I want to know, because I really don't understand why he would lose it like that. This is a smart person whose plan fell apart, if it was even a plan.
It was a plan, because why would he have a syringe on a hike in Hawaii?
Fair. Anesthesiologist, am I right?
No, I'm telling you, this was all planned, okay?
Yeah.
And it'll make sense as to why.
Okay.
Well, kind of. It doesn't make sense, but in his brain, it will.
Okay.
So he tries to inject her with something, okay? And so then I think runs away. Some hikers help her, and she's all messed up, okay? Also, they have 2 kids.
Oh, gosh.
So this isn't like, Steve and his, I forget her name.
They had a baby.
They did have a baby, but they were like I think they were a little, they weren't married as long as this couple.
Yeah.
Some of the backstory, okay, which we didn't know this until court.
Yeah, and I don't know much of this.
Yeah. So Dr. SG had been accusing Ariel of having an affair.
Oh.
And historically had been super jealous and had also historically sexually assaulted her.
Okay.
What do you think in your face?
Well, SG's not looking any less SG,
It's not great.
No. Did he have any, how we talk about with domestic violence, did they suspect an affair because there was actually behavior happening that was suspicious? Or did they suspect it because they just have this ownership feeling about their partner?
There's no evidence that there was an affair.
Okay.
Yeah. At least yet.
Well, that's its own risk factor on the DVRNA, because some people get so fixated on the idea of somebody leaving them, and there's really no data to support that the person is thinking about that at all.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's no evidence that she was. So I think it's more around the extreme jealousy.
Okay.
Okay. What's interesting is in court. So she was, it shows her in court.
Oh my gosh.
She has like
injured, I'm sure.
You could tell it had healed quite a bit. Not super beat up. She didn't look beat up, but she still had a bandage on her face. Because this all happened in March, and we're halfway through April. So what's interesting is she looks super stoic at court.
Like no emotion.
No emotion.
Interesting.
So I was going to ask you, why do you think she appeared so stoic?
Gosh, I don't know. Dissociation?
Yeah. No,
I mean, really, I think it's not uncommon for people. And she was probably facing him at court.
Yeah, he was on video because he was still in Oahu.
But seeing his face, I mean, geez.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he almost killed her. Allegedly.
So did they sent his butt back to wherever and she was still there?
No, so he was still in jail in Oahu and she was somewhere else. I forget where she was.
Okay, she maybe came home.
Yeah, something.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine her family getting a call like, hey, your daughter's in the hospital in Hawaii?
No.
XYZ injury. And it sounds like they arrested him pretty quick, which you might get into. But the stoic part makes sense from a trauma perspective, to me.
Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 of this because there's more information that I don't have. So I don't have the arrest. I don't have any of that. I just really have what happened.
Yeah.
And then the court part.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have to do part 2 because there's going to be more to this story.
There has to be.
Yeah, I think she appeared stoic because I think this was maybe the first time he really attempted to kill her. I don't think this was the first time that there was abuse.
No.
Because of how she looked.
Well, yeah, and it just doesn't usually go 0 to 60 like this. And honestly, when Nat and I work with these guys, they typically come in saying this was just a one-off. This was a weird day. And by the end of treatment, it's no, there was a pattern of this. It was escalating.
Yeah.
Sometimes it had happened in previous relationships too.
Exactly. And depending on the offense that we see, right? So especially when we get cases where they come in and they're like, and they always use this verbiage, and I'm sorry, it's a little crass, but they'll say, I just choked her a little. I'm like, first of all, it's strangulation.
Right.
Second of all, you don't just strangle someone a little, and that's your first time offense. That doesn't happen.
It's just not how it works.
That's not how it works at all.
Mm-mm.
I mean, and we're going to get into this case at some point. It's a big one. Chris Watts. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I believe that there was patterns of power and control between the two of them for a long time. And he strangled her, which we'll get into when we do that case. But that was like...
know anything about the sexual assault between Dr. SJ and... SG and his
Ariel
wife and Ariel?
No. It literally just said that there was some history of that and history of him being super jealous.
Okay. We don't know if there was a history of DV outside of sexual assault, maybe. We would assume yes, but we don't have evidence of it that we know of.
Not that we know of, but I watched a really quick news thing on it, and there was someone who got on there and said, we usually see specifically women when they show up that stoic in this type of situation, it's because they've been victimized before, and it's like they're kind of used to it, kind of like you said, the dissociation.
They kind of snap back.
And she's a smart woman, so she's not gonna, I mean, not that she's being manipulative, but I think, she just almost died, allegedly. And I mean, I actually do think she almost died. Allegedly, it was him. And so I think for her, it was that was probably we're talking about the worst it's been. And so if I'm sitting in court, I'm sure as heck going to try to dissociate emotionally from that situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So like I said, there is a lot of the story that is still unfolding because it's it's a brand new case. I mean, it happened it happened a little bit ago. So her face is healing, but it's still brand new because it happened March 24th.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot that's still happening. There's a lot that's going to still unfold. So we will have to do updates for you guys on this because I'm fascinated by it. I want to know why the heck, and I want to know what and why
yes
he used to inject her.
Yes, I want to know that too.
Right? I want to know more of their history, and I just could not find any of that stuff. But I wanted to bring this case up because it's insane, and it reminded me of all the other 2 cases that we did that involved pushing wives off of cliffs.
Oh, yeah. I remember the day this broke. You and I were like, oh my gosh, what happened?
I know. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude just tried to kill his wife, allegedly.
Allegedly.
If any of our listeners have more information before we do an updated episode, let us know and send us your sources because we would love to talk about it. But my guess is that there has been DV, domestic violence, already.
Yeah.
And I do believe, allegedly, that there's been history of jealousy and probably history of accusations.
Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's been unfounded.
Yeah.
Right? Because we see that fixation. It's an ownership. It's a misogynistic sexual ownership thing that we see that leads to violence.
Yeah. So I do think that this is not anything. I think this is the most severe it's been, but I think this was a pattern that led to this. And I think we're going to all figure that out in this case. So, do you have any last thoughts on this? This was a really fast episode, but we just don't have a ton yet.
No, thank you for sharing it. And we'll keep you guys posted and stay tuned for Friday's full episode.
Yes.
As always,
bye, forensic friends.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more Crime, Psychology, and Heart.